Welcome everyone back to the world of Crimson Desert. The game's launch date is nearly upon us, reviews have dropped, they're moderately mixed, and I still have more I want to say about the game. Today, however, we're looking at the game once again on the PS5 Pro, this time running in quality mode. In my original video, I focused primarily on the game's performance mode to show it running at 60 frames per second, but a lot of people wondered, how does it really hold up in quality mode? So today I've decided to capture all of this using that mode. And with HDR enabled. Crucially, Crimson Desert allows you to adjust the peak brightness of the game from within the options menu, so it's currently set to 1500, which matches the LG G4 that I played it on. But if you're watching on any HDR display, you should have a very nice presentation here. In addition, this is how the game looks without PSSR enabled, because quality mode does not seem to use PSSR, unlike the balanced in performance modes. So yeah, this is a good look at it, and it is very sharp indeed. The other thing is that when I did that initial video, a lot of people were curious about the adventure portion. They enjoyed that section of the video, and while this probably won't be as well laid out because it's off the cuff, I'm going to try my best, and I decided I'm just going to go explore the world. In addition, given that the reviews just dropped yesterday, I was kind of fascinated by some of the things that I read along the way, and I kind of wanted to discuss little bits and pieces of that as we progress through. Some of these faults were moderately obvious to me by playing it, but others took me by surprise. I guess the thing that really sticks out about this game is it feels like something that was made from a different perspective that doesn't take into account all of the best practices the rest of the industry seems to follow. So it does end up feeling rather unique, and as somebody that didn't actually follow this pre-release, it surprised me in a very pleasant way. But before we continue forward, I wanted to stop off in this little fortress as it kind of caught my eye, so let's check that out.
This video is brought to you by Digital Foundry and Asphalt Legends, an impressive free-to-play arcade racing mobile game also available on PS4, PS5, Xbox, PC and Switch. The game now features two new LEGO Technic hypercars, including the BMW M4 GT3 Evo, which is showcased here both as a real-world model build and rendered in high fidelity in-game, here seen on the PS5 Pro version. Asphalt Legends is a fun, scalable experience, and while the core feature set is the same, the more powerful your hardware, the more impressive the visuals. Be sure to check out the special LEGO Technic in-game event running from March 18th to March 29th to experience the game. Gameloft will draw 6 players at random from all who participate, and they'll receive a LEGO Technic Golden Pack containing every LEGO Technic vehicle. Download it for free from your preferred store and use the redeem code AL Digital Foundry to earn bonus in-game items. For more details, scan the QR code or see the video description below.
We're definitely talking about graphics as well. So this is one of the things I mentioned in my video. This game uses a lot of displacement mapping. And I think it's largely good, but there are definitely spots like this where it breaks down. So keep that in mind. You can kind of see the edges getting a bit weird there. It's not too bad most of the time, and I think it's ultimately worth it. And on PC, you can disable it if you really don't like it. But yeah, it's not 100% perfect. But it does add a lot of really nice extra detail to the world. The other big visual issue a lot of people noted is the prevalence of pop-in throughout, and that is definitely a thing, and maybe playing here in quality mode will give us an idea of how it compares in this mode versus performance. Okay, I have been spotted. Why hello there. Oh, he has a weapon. That's not good. Okay. So one thing I like here is this guy has he's rocking this nice shiny armor, right? And you can see all the kind of reflections in the red of the desert sand on there. Oh, the stupid thing's in the way. So I could just run up and attack him right now, of course, but one of the things I wanted to show here is this. Even in these tricky situations, this camera system is really cool. When you lock onto enemies, note how it sort of tries to frame the two combatants almost like a fighting game, where it doesn't allow them to go outside the frame so much, and it'll actually sort of change its angle to ensure that you can always see both of the combatants at once. Okay, so we're just gonna do this here. And there we go. Oh, he's still... Oh, there we go. This has sparted him off the cliff. Look at all those red dots on the map, by the way. I just realized that. There's some dudes that don't like me in there. But yeah, one of the things I really do love about this in general is I do think the combat system's a lot of fun, but I also think some people might not jive with it. It is a heavy system. There's a lot of priority on animation, I would say. I mean, I guess it's a little bit Souls-like in some ways, but it's also much faster. And I think it's that combination of animation priority and the need to react quickly that maybe doesn't work for some reviewers. And the boss fights are pretty tough, but I still like it quite a bit. Also, from this vantage point, you can really kind of appreciate the lighting. I love that orange glow you see right there on that distant mountain. That is the global illumination in action. Yeah. Awesome looking place. Also, let's see, can we see it from here? Yeah, okay, it's very, very subtle. But while we're being shot at here, I want you to, I'm going to stop and come up here again. Check out the trees at a distance. Like, really get up close to the trees. Look over by that tower. You see what I'm talking about? So this is one of my favorite things here. All trees, no matter how far away from the camera, not only do they retain shadows, like I mentioned in my video, but they actually animate. So you can actually see the weather, the affecting it, the wind speed affecting the trees as they sort of blow around. I think that's super cool because it does help the world feel more active in a way that you usually don't see in games like this. So, alright, well, clearly we're not wanted in this zone, although we seem to have been forgotten. So there's a dude down there, and dang, those shadows actually look really good. But yeah, so you can see the guards here, but it kind of reminds me, one thing I don't love about the game is I feel like the stealth system is really hard to take advantage of, because you can actually sneak up behind enemies and take them out. It is possible, but I find like the AI is very quick to sort of know your location and start to hunt you down. But anyway, let's go ahead and fly out here. So we're up here, I guess it's called the Valley of the Moon, but we're relatively near the quote-unquote Crimson Desert, the titular Crimson Desert. Looking above, we have the beautiful volumetric clouds. Reminds me a lot of what we have in Decima, actually. Really well implemented. But yeah, so views like this, something I absolutely love about this game, is it creates this real sense of scale, in that it's not just like a big sort of height map-ish kind of place, but you can actually see way out in the distance. And oh, actually, what's down here? Hold on, I'm gonna check that out. And yes, this flight stuff, really fun. And oh wow, okay. Oops. But yeah, so this looks like some sort of, I don't know what this is, but this structure is interesting here, right in the middle of the water. And oh yeah, with the HDR shining, the reflections in the water, really beautiful stuff. I love moments like this. If you're watching the tone map version, it might appear a little bit blown out, I suspect, but oh man, just look at that. Wow. So here's a demonstration of the ray traced reflections. They do layer SSR over it, but as you can see, you can actually see under the scaffolding there. So all this stuff is using RT reflections. And then when I tilt the camera up, that's where we get more like, yeah, the way they do that though. So it kind of shows the sort of hybrid approach they're doing, I guess. It seems to capture a lot of local objects in the BVH, but some things like the surrounding wall there. Okay, I see. That's weird. So it's only like capturing the like the base material, I guess. roughly, but it doesn't capture the lighting data and the texture. So it's kind of a weird hybrid there. But overall, because the SSR lines up really well with it, it still looks, I think, mostly okay. Oh yeah, look around the head here, or as the body as I step out of the water. You can definitely see some issues with the resolve sort of streaks in the surface. Possibly the TAA or the denoiser, but yeah, not great. Oh, this bit of stone, it's rather wet, making it look almost oily here, which is kind of funny. Oh, come back here. That's fine. Nope. So the exposure is very high right here. I can see, oh, okay, so looking at the HDR screen, this looks perfect. But here, tone mapped into SDR as I'm playing through the preview window, yeah, definitely overly bright. So you can already see a difference here. Again, though, look at this. So one of the cool things I like about this is, so right now what we're seeing here is the full lighting from the sun, and this is fully ray traced. These shadows, however, use shadow maps. So the sun and the moon, the primary shadows that you see from them, are shadow maps. But any lights generated from local lights, like torches or lanterns, which are also ray traced lights, there's also do shadows using ray tracing. And it's a pretty cool effect, I gotta say. And given that it's about 5 p.m. in the game world, I think before we reach our objective here, we probably will get a look at that. Another thing that's really cool about this game, and Alex and I were talking about this a bit, and that's something I really like, is so when you build an open world game, one of the things you have to kind of figure out is how are you going to do the terrain? How are you going to actually put detail into the world? A lot of games just use sort of like a base terrain generation system, and then you plop various meshes and models on top of it. And this is kind of how Unreal mostly worked. It still has that terrain system in. I think they're actually trying to make some changes to that and alter it. But one of the downsides is that it has a direct effect on the types of terrain you can do, because it is just like a rolling surface, and then you're sort of kit bashing the meshes on top. Not too different from using them anyway, but stuff like this, like these arches, not so easy to do. And I find like this game has a lot of like interesting architecture, large overhangs, arches, and just variety in the types of scenes you can explore that I think is really powerful. So however they did the terrain and the overall like environment rendering, it's not only very granularly detailed, but it has more variety in terms of the formations. And I think that specifically is what helps make it so darn interesting to me, because it doesn't feel like a typical open world somehow. Oh, this looks great. Of course, here I picked the desert, so there's not much going on right away, but I am curious to see what is that building up there. Let's go find out. So, pop over here, climb this wall. I don't want to take that. This is a good example of like the nice terrain detail that you get, where this is not at all like a visibly flat surface. You get these stone walls, which is really nice. And then what is this? So there's some kind of like pipe system going in and out of here. I'll start climbing from up this point, just in case. So I don't know what this is, but let's find out. Okay, so he's gonna climb up that ledge. Can I use... Okay, so this is key. Using these little ledges as sort of like places to take a break is what allows you to like essentially conquer the stamina system. And sometimes the camera goes into the wall. You know how it is. Actually, that was the first time I've ever seen that. So up here we've got some kind of metallic structure. With gears on top. And I didn't make it. Oops. Ah, look at this. You can see the sun moving through the sky. The shadow is changing before us, occasionally skipping ahead, but it is actually moving. Oh yeah, look at this. I quite like the lighting in this area. Somehow this feels like a place where you would suddenly run into Marcus.
Oh no.
What? What's going on? What's going
Robert, help.
on? Oh my god.
My ankle.
Oh, look at that. We got some volumetric light pouring in. This whole area. Look at that. So that's a cool benefit of the RTGI system. We've got light bouncing off the wall, directly impacting this room, and if we wait and let this move, it should start to alter the appearance of the room. And yeah, you can see what's happening. That bright orange glow from the light bounce slowly fading away. It's getting darker in here. So you can see we've got the sort of foot placement stuff going on. Some foot IK, it looks like, to ensure that every step matches with the physical step in the game world. Let's do this. How far can we get? Answer, not far enough. So thus far, I've gotten pretty used to... Oh, shoot. I've gotten pretty used to the quality mode. It definitely feels a bit less responsive than the other modes, for sure. But the game does have a bit of a heaviness to it, even on PC. We're finally up to this point. I'm going to climb a little bit higher because I think that should give us a good vantage point to understand where we need to go next. And this is kind of part of what makes the world exploration work for me, I think, is like you're going down into some sections, but then you come back up and you get these vantage points, and you can always sort of track where you need to go in a way that I found really satisfying. And in this case, I see some cities out there. For sure, though, I guess the highlight of my time playing this is definitely this sort of like exploration aspect, and it's something I think that lasts a while. I've been mainly playing on PC, actually. But thus far, I don't really feel like things like the story ever really got going. And I do agree with reviewers on that. But I do think like somehow there's a spark to everything you can do in this game that just kind of kept me going, which is, I don't know, it's a very unusual thing because I don't typically love these sorts of open worlds unless there's like a purpose. Like I love something like Death Stranding, for instance, because it sort of inverts the usual open world mechanics where you have like point A then point B and the only cool stuff happens at either point. And maybe that's part of it here because the world itself is so interesting to explore and engage with just by itself. Oh, and by the way, nice water. But yeah, that's kind of what has me hooked. I also think the core combat with just random enemies is a lot of fun, actually. It really plays like this strange fusion between a character action game and a Souls-like. But all right, let's go ahead and explore, see what's over here. This kind of looks like it's definitely a horse farm of some sort. Any bad guys around here? I actually like this time of day. I know some people think it looks flat, but I really think this sort of like dusk look with the sky being bright, especially in HDR and a sort of overcast ground, is really cool. Oh, shield dude. All right, let's engage him real quick. Oh yeah, so the shield guys, so I'm just mashing here, which this is not the way to play, but let's play around with this a little bit. Different. I don't have a lot of moves unlocked yet here. Oh, okay, that's cool. Do you see the way his helmet flew off there? I'll go back and get that in a second. But yeah, look at that. Okay, so this, interestingly, the fence here to the right seems to be fixed in place. A lot of stuff in the game world can be broken and destroyed, but like main architecture is sort of rooted in place. Okay, there he goes. So yeah, that's that. There it is. There's the helmet that fell off before. I think that's pretty neat. So let's see what's over here. More dudes hanging out. Some red dots on the map. Yeah, they're mad, of course. I love doing those kicks off the shield like that. That feels really good. But yeah, like I said earlier, there's a lot of animation priority in most things that you do, so the game does feel a little heavier. It hasn't really been a huge problem unless you're just like mashing like this, which is, you know, when you're playing sort of directly while talking about it. That does seem to happen. Okay, so we got some destruction. Oh, shoot. Okay, so this is what happens when you die. Revive at checkpoint. And yeah, you get a loading screen like this essentially with just some tips and a little spinning loading icon. They don't roll out the full thing normally. But okay, it's brought us back, presumably near where we died. So let's go ahead and continue. Oh man, look at that. I love that. In HDR, this just really, really pops. Jump across here. I love these craggy rocks. They look real nice. But yeah, jumping ahead a little bit here. Let's try jumping off of here. Ooh, okay. So I definitely think that scenes like this look noticeably less good when viewed in SDR in this game. I do think the brightness of the sky helps a lot. And oh man, just look at this. So the water, this really is like a highlight, I think, of the game's visuals for me. The way they handle these streams, and like the water is able to like morph and change and correctly modify its directionality based on other rocks within the lake or the rivers, streams, whatever. The thing right here to the right of you with this little bit of rocks where the water sort of like realistically flows over the top of the rock. That's really, really nice. Plus the rock, the base of the rocks all show a bit of wetness. I think it's a really convincing and beautiful effect. Really definitely something they've done well in this game overall. Waterfalls themselves maybe not so much, but the actual rendering of the water stream itself definitely deserves a nice water. And this looks like the encampment. Yeah, this is where I just was, I think, with that fence. I like all the interactive foliage here, though. That's always nice. So let's go back in here and look around. I think this is like a horse racing track. But it looks nice. It looks good. Benches that... Oh, okay. Okay. So, actually... Okay, I have an idea. Well, that didn't work. So, okay. Yeah, here we go. So one of the things I really wanted to showcase as well is the way that there's these destructible bits in the environment. Kind of reminds me of Crisis in a way. There is admittedly like a slight delay when they break. Like you impact it, then the game has to figure out what's happened, and then it just sort of responds, which isn't perfect, but I do think it adds a certain level of dynamism to the fight. Unless you're fighting against things like this, like that fence there is clearly defined. You're not allowed to destroy it because it's part of the key level design. But all of these like buildings, structures, these fences, this stuff can be wrecked if you want. Like right there. There we go. The way the guards roll around on the ground like that, I think looks cool. Okay, so we got them. So what about these tents then? See, the delay is weird, but I really like the way that the tents and the fences and everything just sort of breaks apart. Wow. Yeah, it's cool that they allow this to actually happen. I think it looks really, really good. Big fan of that. Also, it's now 8:08 p.m., not 8:08 state. But once again, we've got some gorgeous HDR lighting coming out and more troops. Yeah, I'm really not super prepared in this case. Let's see what we got in this tent. So there we go, yeah. Once again, can I destroy the tent by attacking it directly? Just by attacking enemies near physical objects, things sort of break apart, which I think is really fun. Let's try to kick him into the tent. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Also, did you notice he left ripples there when attacking? And in the dirt, there was the path there, and the tent looks damaged now. Lots of little effects from combat. You might also notice if you slash like a wall or something solid, it'll actually leave like marks. Oh, what are those? Oh, okay. So yeah, breaking the... You can actually hide in those, by the way. The bales of hay at times. There is a way to use that for stealth. But oh wow, okay, now look at this. Now that is gorgeous. The reflections of the water at sunlight, or at sunset. Really, really awesome looking. Although I have run out of stamina, so it's not gonna make it. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's annoying. But that's okay, let's get back on our journey. I love the lighting at this time of day. Something I hope we can see here once we get to a vantage point is there's a really cool thing with the lighting. Specifically all these torches and lamps everywhere. Oh, are you kidding me? Am I here again? Okay, I just need to get away from this spot. How big is this little area? See you, dude. I'm out of here. Why, hello there, horse. Ooh, platform off of you. Oh, look at this, though. This part looks like... I love going through the forest at dusk like this, where the leaves, the trees, everything's quite dark, but the sky still has that luminance to it that's quite beautiful. Just an awesome looking thing. So yeah, all these orange lights here, these are ray traced lights. And the shadows they're casting are seemingly handled by that, which I think is like ultra cool. I can't get in there, okay. Oh, look at that. It's just like, this is like weirdly evocative, I feel. Just momentarily, this like little grove of trees sort of like blocks your view of everything around you. Just the silhouette of the leaves dancing against the sky. The stars are becoming visible. The high dynamic range lighting creates this like luminance, higher luminance sky, while the ground below appears quite dark. The shadows begin to creep in. The ground itself is detailed with displacement maps sort of like filling it in. And there's a stranger working here.
I'll kill you and arrest your corpse.
Oh. I think the reason everyone's so mad is I'm in a land where I'm not supposed to be right now. And you are the gray main, as they say. So one things I do like is that this game is really only gated by, I guess, the enemies. You can kind of go wherever you want right away. These guys are tougher, but not too tough. But there's definitely areas you can end up where the enemies are quite brutal. Not easy to beat at all, if you can do it even with a starting character. Obviously, I put in a lot of hours into this, but this is still basically a starting character since I've just been running around. Okay. This is what I was talking about. Look out across the mountain range here, right? You see all those little orange dots? Essentially, they're able to represent distant light of torches, lamps, etc. all the way across the map. And I think that is just cool. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing here, but it is something that you can kind of use to visually track where civilization is. And it just looks cool. It makes the distance seem to have more life than you might usually see in such a game. I think that makes a big difference. So let's call my trusty horse, not so trusty horse. There he is. He's magic. And just go.
Go. Ho.
So guys,
Hiya. Ho.
so we actually have a village here as well. Oh, it's an estate. Oh, they're not going to let me go in there, but I don't really care.
Ho. Get going.
Can I... Sometimes you can break things with your horse. Other times you gotta hit it with the sword. There we go. Looks a little awkward, but I like it.
Hiya. Hiya.
Okay, yeah, they're...
Yeah. Ho.
Let's get out of here. Alright. Making our way forward here. Again, you can... This one's obviously closer range, but you can see all of the light here, which I think looks pretty awesome.
You like a dog chasing its
Oh
tail.
boy, yeah. Bad guys. Boy. I went right into the lion's den here. Nobody likes this spot.
Die, Gravy! Do you have even a single idea where you are?
I love these areas with the trees and the shadows cast from them. Looks really good. As I mentioned earlier, the shadows here are indeed shadow maps. And they look overall good, but even on PC using the cinematic settings, there's definitely areas where they're not perhaps quite as nice as you might like. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's like... I don't want to hurt a dog, but... It looks like the Final Fantasy Type 0 dog. Oh, a little stream here. Oh boy, I shouldn't have done this. There we go. Let's go. Oh, right. I think think I put a waypoint for the islands out there. How can I get out there right now? This could be tricky. Look at that sparkle on the water, though. I love it. Oh, wow. Look at this place. That's actually, that's legitimately awesome looking. They do a good job making the water look good, both at near and far scale. We also have some nice waterfalls over there. I'm curious though, what's this town about down here? Let's go find out. Oh, thankfully, she seems friendly. And my battery's about to run out. Very good level of detail in here. But how can I get over to the islands, I wonder? I need a boat. Or some kind of means for traversing. Although it looks like if I could get up on top of the waterfall. I could probably take it around. Let's find out. Finally, some seemingly friendly guards. Let's see if I can actually just get straight up here. Cool. There's a lot to see and do up here. Oh, those are bad guys.
Get on with it then.
But I don't feel like dealing with them. That's right, come and get me. I didn't think of this before. Didn't quite. I literally broke. Okay. So from up here, I might actually be able to cross this. Ooh, the water's good current. There we go. Okay, I have an idea. Okay, so I did bring out my horse. There he is. Okay. So I'm gonna use my horse to get across this. There we go. That worked better. Really beautiful scenes right here. Amazing scenes. All right, you can actually if you look, it's slightly hard to see. Let's see if I can get a better angle on this. But you can kind of see how the moonlight creates sort of like this atmospheric scattering below the surface, which I think is really nice. So we're making progress through this little section here. That's really high, okay. Castle looks good up there. Yeah, this is another area where I think the HDR really shines. We have these bright sort of point lights scattered around the scene within an otherwise very dark night. It really creates this beautiful contrast that I'm a big fan of. I don't yet know what this area is going to be used for here, but it's cool, right? All the shadows seem to be ray traced as well. There's just a tremendous amount of detail in the bricks or the stones used to construct this place. Very, very awesome looking, I think. Right. Okay, so I can't do anything here yet, of course. No, but there is, I guess, they call it the abyss, even though it's in the sky. But there's a whole sky world up there, and all of this is tied to that, and there's puzzles, and there's a lot going on here. That sky, though, is very interesting. It's sort of like a foggy atmospheric sky with the light rays creeping above the mountain, filtering through the trees. The rest of the surroundings, very, very dark, difficult to see. Yeah, this looks good, though. Let's go ahead and cross, though. Whoa. Okay, now wow. That's cool. What the heck is going on here? What's this? There seems to be a magical effect happening on my character for some reason. Wait a minute. Oh, that's just for leveling, right? Wow, that's really beautiful. Dang, this whole forest is awesome looking. The bamboo moves. Can't chop it though. So I think it's just a function of the thick fog plus like this like deep, thick bamboo forest. I see the point. I'm gonna put it on my map. Yeah, there's curious to see what actually happens up here later in the game. This journey hasn't had as much stuff happen, but I still see some cool things. Can I climb all these stairs? Wow, look at this. Really, really great. Just awesome visual design, but it's so quiet. Like, what's going on up here? If I want to reach my X, what do I gotta do to get up there? Well, let's go into this mysterious cave-like thing. Oh, wait. Bet it's locked. It is. Not surprising. Would like to see what it's about, though. Let's see if we can go ahead and get up here. We're almost to the X, I think. But the journey has certainly been interesting, I think. And I'll be curious to see what everybody else who ends up playing this game thinks about it. Because it is just kind of this like weird thing to bang against, with just a really, really immersive, hugely varied world to explore. Lots of unexpected interactions with both NPCs and the various systems. You can tell that they put a lot of time and effort into building the places that you explore here. And a lot of the reviews did mention that it has this sort of like, it's like a single player MMO in some ways. I can kind of see that, the skeleton of that, especially with some of the choices they make around the UI and certain controls, for sure. But it really does have like a mystery and appeal to it that I do think is worth checking out. Plus, of course, I think it's beautiful. I've seen a lot of people swiping at the art direction for some reason. And there's certainly things you can point out to it, but I do think it feels unique. It's not just generic fantasy at all. There's definitely some unusual things to find. I think like the lighting artists have done an amazing job throughout. The scenery is often stunning. Characters, I think, aren't always that great. Certainly that's probably one of the weakest points of the art direction. But beyond that, I do think it is a very, very handsome game. Even here on the PS5 Professional. But of course, we'll be checking this out on the other consoles very, very soon. Once the game unlocks, which should be later today. But alright, let's see. We're almost to the X. Let's see if I can make it over there to finish this off. Okay. I did not make it. So, how about we call it here? Thank you, everyone that have watched up to this point, who's joined me on this journey across the land. I hope you enjoyed following along on these adventures. And again, be sure to share your thoughts on the game if you end up playing it. I admit, like, before doing this video stuff, I really wasn't very familiar with it at all. So I kind of went in blind and had a great time with it. So I hope that continues. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.